Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
What brings you here?
Well, I'm one of the organising committee of this conference.
Oh, man.
So I've been involved in helping formulate the basic science part of this conference. So trying to pick the abstracts that sort of are the nuts and bolts virology of HIV and how HIV causes the disease it causes, and how SARS-CoV-2 causes the COVID-19, and the sort of those sort of basic science questions.
What is one that really stands out to you that's being discussed right now, would you say? Basic science question.
I think when it comes to HIV, there are two still major ones that we're really trying to get our heads around, which is one, we know the sort of immune responses we want to have in a vaccinated person to protect them from HIV. What we are not very good at the moment is actually eliciting those immune responses. And that's the challenge for the vaccine. We know what we want, it's very difficult to get there. And there's a lot of progress going on in that, which requires a lot of in-depth technological and basic science know-how. But I think there are certain signs of fruition coming out of that. And likewise, whether one can devise interventions that can actually cure someone of HIV, or at least functionally cure them in such a way that they don't need to take their therapies anymore. And that's, again, is something we know should be theoretically possible, but again has a lot of challenges, and that's some of the exciting research that's going on here.
And with that said, what are you looking forward from this meeting to the future?
Well, I mean, really just seeing how what I've just talked about kind of develops over the years. I mean, these are long-term, very incremental, very hard questions to tackle. But year on year, we see progress, and the more we learn, and the more we study people living with HIV, and particularly how they can be examined in terms of how they control their virus when they're being treated by therapies, and whether they will allow people to withdraw their therapy for a little while and see how the virus comes back and where it comes back from. All those sort of studies provide a critical mass to understand how we might be able to cure people of HIV in the long run.
Why is that important to you for community moving forward in the world?
Well, I mean, ultimately, we're very lucky in the Western world with access to therapeutics that, for people living with HIV, they can take therapeutics that can essentially keep their virus at bay for an indefinite amount of time, and crucially stop it spreading between individuals. That's not the case all across the world, and that level of investment, we would need something that's far more efficacious if we want to really eradicate HIV from the world. So that's the important part of it.
Thank you so much for your contribution and taking the time to speak with me.